Okay, so the first law of motion states that an object will stay in a state of motion or in a state of rest until acted upon by another force. And an example of this would be the dominoes that are in a state of rest until the marble hits it and pushes the first one over, which then pushes all the other ones over. The dominoes start in a state of rest and then are put into a state of motion by the marble, and then they're once again put into a state of rest when they finally lay flat or hit the movie covers. The second law of motion says that the force is equal to the change in momentum per change in time, which is F equals mass times acceleration. This explains how the velocity of an object changes when it is subjected to an external force. An example of this is when a force in the form of the hand giving it a push, sends the marble rolling and changes its velocity. The third law of motion states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. An example of this would be when the last domino falls on the ruler and pushes it down, and the other side of the ruler goes up and sends the dice flying onto the ramp.
The conservation of momentum and the conservation of energy are linked to each other. Conservation of momentum. Momentum is defined to be the mass of an object multiplied by the velocity of the object. The conservation of momentum states that the amount of momentum is neither created nor destroyed because it remains constant. Momentum has both magnitude and direction, which makes it a vector. In this project, the conservation of momentum is shown when the marble topples over the first domino, making the first domino lean over the second and setting off a chain reaction. That is how the momentum is conserved. Conservation of energy. As stated before, since both the conservation of energy and the conservation of momentum are linked, the energy is also conserved and neither created nor destroyed. Energy can be conserved from one form to another, but the amount of total energy remains the same. As the marble knocks something, it transfers its energy to another object, therefore making the energy transfer from one object to the other.